uncovering the legend behind the Mothman.
The legend of Mothman is as strong as it was 45 years ago.
That's where Mothman was first sighted.
Mothman is here.
November 15th, 1966 was a night that would forever change Point Pleasant. Two young couples, Roger and Linda Scarberry and Steve and Mary Millette, were driving near the McClintock Wildlife Management Area, locally known as the TNT area due to its World War II history as a munitions plant, when they saw something they would never forget. The body of a large dog was lying motionless on the side of the road. Out of nowhere, a large 7-foot-tall, black-winged creature whose eyes glowed red appeared. According to them, the eyes were hypnotic and they were in a trance, frozen in place. Suddenly it started moving towards them. In a frenzied panic, they floored it to try and get away from it. Moments later, they saw the creature again on a hill near the road. To their horror, it opened its bat-like wings and started following the car. According to their account, this creature didn't even move its wings in the air, but it was able to keep pace with them while they were moving at 100 miles per hour. When they reached the city limits, it stopped following them. The couples rushed to the Mason County Courthouse to recount what they had just seen. Their reports all seemed to match, with them describing it in similar fashions. It was a bird or something. It was like a man with wings. It was like anything you'd see on TV or a monster movie. This would normally be dismissed by the police as a prank, but Deputy Millard Halstead had known the couple since they were young, and the terrified look they had made him take them seriously. He went back with them to the plant, but no sign of the creature was visible. This was one of the first widely reported sightings of the creature, reaching several newspapers. But this was not an isolated event. And thus began the legend of the Mothman. On the same night, one more report was made about this creature. Newell Partridge, a local building contractor who lived about 90 miles from Point Pleasant, reported his television going dark, and a strange sound could be heard from outside. Upon hearing this, he went to inspect with his flashlight, and upon shining it at the barn, he saw two red eyes staring at him. His dog Bandit, an experienced hunting dog, started moving towards the creature. In an effort to deter him from doing so, Newell ran inside. This was the last time he would ever see his dog. Bandit did not follow him, and he didn't have the courage to go back outside. Newell slept with his gun on his bed that night. It's believed the dog figure that the couples had seen in the TNT plant might have been Bandit, which would suggest the creature would have been at Newell's farm first, before fleeing with the dog as its prey. Only one day later, there was another disturbing report of this creature. Marcella Bennett was visiting some friends with her baby daughter Tina, who lived in a bungalow near the TNT plant. Bennett was heading back to the car when a figure appeared from behind it. She couldn't move and fell on the ground on top of her daughter. "I was in a trance," she would later retell. But in an instant, she gathered her thoughts, picked the baby up, and ran into her friend's house. She and her friends locked the house and called the police, but the creature was outside, peering through their windows. When the police eventually showed up, the creature had fled. Bennett would later describe the creature as a large gray monster, over 6 feet tall with feathers like a giant bird, with glowing red eyes. She had not heard of the news from the days before and had no clue the creature was seen by anyone else, adding credibility to her story. This memory followed her for the rest of her life, and she sought professional help to deal with it. With time, more than 100 incidents with the Mothman were reported, some of them from dates before the 1966 events. People would not report it as they would seem crazy, but now that the story was out there, they had nothing to lose. But what was this creature, and why was it out there? The Mothman, as described by numerous witnesses, was a creature that defied easy categorization. As reports accumulated, a more detailed picture emerged, revealing a being that was both terrifying and awe-inspiring in its otherworldliness. Standing between 6 and 7 feet tall, the Mothman towered over most humans. Its body was most often described as humanoid in shape, but with distinctly inhuman proportions. Witnesses frequently noted its broad, muscular chest and unusually thin waist, giving it an almost hourglass figure. The creature's skin or covering was variously reported as grey, dark brown, or even black, with textures ranging from leathery to feathered or furry, depending on the account. The Mothman's wings were perhaps its most striking feature. Described as bat-like in appearance, they were said to span an impressive 10 feet when fully extended. Many witnesses reported seeing the wings folded against the creature's back when not in use, only to snap open with startling speed when it took flight. The wings were said to be membranous, with some accounts mentioning visible veins or a leather-like texture. But it was the Mothman's red eyes that left the deepest impression on those who encountered it. Consistently described as large, round and glowing an intense red, these eyes seemed to possess a hypnotic quality. Many witnesses reported feeling transfixed or paralyzed when meeting the creature's gaze, as if caught in some sort of trance. The glow was said to persist even in broad daylight, lending the creature an eerie, otherworldly appearance. The Mothman's method of locomotion was another source of fascination and fear. While it was often seen flying, its flight was described as unlike that of any known bird or bat. Witnesses reported that it could take off vertically like a helicopter, hover in place, and fly at extreme speeds without apparent effort. Many accounts describe the creature keeping pace with cars driving at 100 miles per hour or more, all without seeming to flap its wings. The Mothman encounters were often accompanied by unsettling sounds. Witnesses reported a range of noises, from loud humming and buzzing to high-pitched screeches and squeals. Some described mechanical sounds like grinding metal or whirring engines. Many witnesses also reported an oppressive fear and static charge in the air before the creature appeared. Despite its intimidating presence, the Mothman rarely acted aggressively. Instead, it seemed to observe humans with curiosity, leading some to speculate about its intelligence and possible supernatural or extraterrestrial origin. The combination of the Mothman's imposing size, otherworldly appearance, hypnotic eyes, incredible flight abilities, and the eerie sounds associated with its presence created an entity that challenged the boundaries between natural and supernatural. This mysterious creature left a profound impact on those who claimed to have encountered it, forever changing their lives. As sightings continued and public interest grew, several theories emerged to explain the Mothman phenomenon. 4 main hypotheses gained traction, each attempting to rationalize the sightings through different lenses. One theory proposed that the Mothman was actually a misidentified barred owl. Proponents of this idea pointed out that barred owls are large birds native to the area, standing up to 20 inches tall with a wingspan of up to 4 feet. In the darkness, an owl's size could be easily misjudged. Moreover, owls' eyes can appear to glow red when reflecting light, which could explain the reported glowing red eyes. The owl's silent flight and ability to turn its head 270 degrees could account for some of the creature's reported movements. Another explanation suggested the culprit might be a sandhill crane, possibly mutated by exposure to hazardous materials. These birds typically stand up to 4 feet tall with a wingspan of 6.5 feet, but some speculated that contamination from the old TNT area could have caused abnormal growth. Sandhill cranes have reddish patches around their eyes that could appear to glow in certain lighting conditions, and theorists proposed that mutation might enhance this effect. While sandhill cranes are not native to West Virginia, it's possible that a crane could have strayed from its typical migration route. The presence of the abandoned TNT factory, with its potential for residual chemicals or even rumored nuclear waste, led some to suggest that exposure to these substances could explain both the crane's unusual presence in the area and its reportedly extraordinary size and appearance. A more exotic theory linked the Mothman sightings to UFO activity. Some researchers noted that UFO sightings often coincided with Mothman reports, suggesting a possible connection. This theory posited that the Mothman might be an extraterrestrial being or somehow related to alien visitations. While lacking scientific evidence, this idea gained popularity among those who viewed the Mothman as part of a larger paranormal phenomenon. Perhaps the most chilling theory emerged in the wake of a tragic event, the collapse of the Silver Bridge on December 15, 1967. This disaster, which claimed 46 lives, occurred at the height of the Mothman sightings. Some began to view the Mothman as a harbinger of doom, present to warn of the impending catastrophe. Others went further, suggesting that the creature might have caused the bridge collapse through some unknown power. Supporters of the prophecy theory pointed to reports of Mothman sightings near the bridge in the days leading up to its collapse. They argued that the creature's presence was an attempt to warn locals of the coming tragedy. Skeptics, however, saw this as a case of retrospective interpretation, with people seeking meaning in the wake of a devastating event. The bridge collapse marked a turning point in the Mothman story. Sightings decreased dramatically after the tragedy, leading some to believe that the creature's purpose, whether to warn or to cause harm, had been fulfilled. The connection between the Mothman and the bridge disaster became deeply ingrained in local lore, cementing the creature's place in the annals of American folklore. The Mothman has transformed Point Pleasant from a town once gripped by fear to a thriving hub of cryptozoological tourism. What was once a source of terror and confusion for many residents has now become central to the town's identity and a significant driver of its economy. In the heart of downtown Point Pleasant stands a striking 12-foot stainless steel Mothman statue unveiled in 2003. Created by artist Bob Roach, this imposing figure has become an iconic landmark and a popular photo opportunity for visitors, serving as a constant reminder of the town's unique place in American folklore. The Mothman Museum, opened in 2005 by local researcher Jeff Wamsley, has become a focal point for those interested in the Mothman phenomenon. Housing an extensive collection of newspaper clippings, witness accounts, and memorabilia related to the Mothman sightings and the Silver Bridge disaster, the museum provides a comprehensive look at the events that put Point Pleasant on the cryptozoological map. Since 2002, the annual Mothman Festival has drawn thousands of visitors from across the country and even internationally. This weekend-long celebration features guest speakers, including eyewitnesses and researchers, as well as tours of notable Mothman sites, costume contests, and a variety of vendors selling Mothman-themed merchandise. The festival has become a cornerstone event for the town, bringing in significant tourism revenue. Whatever the Mothman really is, it's made an impact on the lives of many people, some for the better and some for the worse. And who knows, perhaps it might be near you, glaring with its big red eyes. Thanks for watching. If you like this documentary-style analysis on cryptids, make sure to subscribe for similar content.